TheBitzr.
Hey strangers, it's Bitsy Tandem, back with another tutorial video. Today we're going to be doing a video on hair and makeup. I just leveled up my hair skills and I wanted to share it with you guys. I think it looks pretty cool, pretty unique. It's definitely my own style and I hope this can help. So first I'm just going to get some initial sketches down and I'm going to do 2 boys and 2 girls. And the first one I'm going to draw is one of my characters. Her name is Miki. You've probably seen her before. I've done other tutorials with her and she is a character in my side story, Martin. And the first thing you want to do is get a good sketching pencil, and I typically always use the lighter pencil, and sometimes I use the Japanese one right below it. I really like how they both feel, but just grab your sketching pencil and start just drawing out your basic hair shapes. Here I am starting with her bangs because she does have very unique bangs, and then the next thing I do is I go to the top of the head and I show where the back of the hair slash top of the head, back of the hair stuff is gonna be going on, and then I just kind of have fun. I'm gonna go a little crazy with her bangs and put a bunch of little lines down. We want to put some flyaways and just have fun with it. And she's got shorter hair in the back than in the front, so her hair kind of gets longer as it goes toward the front and then gets shorter in the back again. And then we just put a few little flyaways and then we just start drawing some lines to show the direction of the hair, just showing which way it's going and how it's moving. Where the bangs, where they're pulling up against the hair, is you do a little jagged line to kind of show that it's where the hair starts on the head, and then you put some stiffer lines going toward the bangs to show that it's kind of pulling away from the scalp. Next up, we're gonna do Serena. Serena is my main character's older sister, and she typically wears her hair up in a ponytail, and you can either do some fluffy bangs or pulled back straight into the ponytail. And then I always like to put the hair tie on the top where it's gonna go, just so I know where I should pull my hairlines back to. And there's a lot you can do with a ponytail. You can either bring it up and swoop it out and have a lot of fun with it, or it can just kind of go straight down. I think I'm gonna try a little half pulled back into the tail, and also with a little bit of her normal hair bangs thing. And you see I just kind of go around and bring down the bangs, and she's got a little wavy hair. You can do a couple different styles, and there's curly, wavy, and spiky, and all that. Few different ways. I always like to throw a couple and I didn't really like how that was looking, so I went ahead and changed it up to have symmetrical bangs. And you could do like crazy fluffy hair out with like a little clasp behind it, or you could do like pointy hair that's got like some product in it at the top and then kind of flares out at the back. But I'm just gonna go with her typical sassy tail. Her and Ellie's hair are slightly curly, and I'm pretty happy with that right there. So next I'm just gonna hop right on over to the dudes. And for guys, I typically like to do long hair. I don't know, I just really like long hair on guys, so that's kind of just what I normally go for. And I'm just gonna do some really fun, free lines, a couple flyaways, and just, that's pretty much it. Just putting on some really fun hair right there. And I realized I hadn't made that last head, so let me just copy and paste another dude head, my bad. And then I'll go in, and this one I want to do like really short hair, like he's got some like stubble on the sides, some like sideburn stuff comes down, and then he's got some curly hair on the top. I've got to put some hair on him or else he looks like a samurai. But from this one, his hair isn't really parting in the middle, it's parting in the back and then kind of being pulled forward with some product, and it's a little wavy, and this is a really popular hairstyle right now. It's kind of very K-pop, and I've been seeing it around a lot, and I've never actually drawn a hairstyle like this because I always kind of do a little longer for dudes, but this is kind of fun, and I'm liking how it's turning out, and you can get the lines in there to make sure it's looking good. Showing the direction of the hair is very important, or else it just looks like a blob. And that's pretty much it. They're all sketched. I like how they look right now. And now we just want to turn down the sketch layer and make an ink layer right on top. I typically go with the mapping pen, and I just grab it and I start doing the general outline. Having a lot of trouble with the chin for some reason, but there's this little thing that I always do with the chin is I put down the this little shadow right there and then fill it with black, and that can really help you see the flaws in your chin, and you can go in and make it look a lot better. But that's pretty much it. And then I just put in the face and the mouth, and lips they kind of have a little bulge to them. And let me move that nose, and we're just gonna throw in some eyebrows and some eyes. I'm not gonna spend too much time on like the details of the face, but I went ahead and made her look, you know, generally how she looks. And then I start again at the V right in her hair where she pulls it up with her bangs, and pull back, and you know, you don't have to directly follow your ink or your sketching with your inking, because it's just kind of there as a guideline. It's there to help you know what you like. And here I'm going through and I'm sketching down the hair again. You see how I'm pulling those up because her hair is being pulled right off the scalp and into these crazy bangs. So it's very important to kind of show a jagged edge there and to show the hair being pulled straight up into that. There's some other fun things you can do though. That's one of my favorite little hair twirls, and I'm going to go ahead and do that right on her top, the top of her head right there. And it just kind of adds a little fun flair to it. A few flyaways. And it's very important to make sure that your hair lines up when there's something in front of it, and keeping an eye on how it goes and pulls back to the back of the head. And it's pretty much just fun and free, and you gotta, you know, putting in the lines that help make it a lot more realistic looking to show where it's going, because hair, even though it kind of clumps, there's a bunch of individual strands and they all kind of go to one place or another. So, and then another important thing is to think about right by the ears. You typically have a little bit of sideburn. Even if you're a girl, there's usually a little hair coming down there, but I went ahead and just threw in like a chunk of her hair that has just been tucked in front of her ear, and make it look kind of cute and sassy, and she just kind of like pulled it over. And then we gotta put in the lines on the hair to show the flow of it, and it's very important to put the lines at the crease or the part in the hair, to put those lines facing upward and then pull them down, because it shows that the hair is being drawn out from one place of the head, which is where you have parted your hair. And then we're just gonna scoot on over to Serena and do the same process. We're gonna start with her hair tie, and it's important to kind of know how your hair is gonna be moving with hair that's up like this. You kind of have to pull it back into the hair tie, but hers is loosely put up there, and she has a lot of product in it to make it her certain style. So you have to keep that in mind while you're putting it all together. You kind of have to know the general parts of the hair that are being pulled and pushed by the product. And she's got these fun little hair curls just like her sister. And back on the back of her head there are you know, whenever you put your own hair up, there's little flyaways at the back, because the hair at the back of your head is not the same length. It doesn't grow out as far, so you got to make sure when you're putting down the jaw and thinking of the hair as a whole, you got to think about those little hairs in the back of your head. Have they been shaved off? Then they wouldn't be visible, but if they're not shaved off, then it's gonna have a, you know, an effect on your overall piece. And always, you know, it's always a good idea to flip it and to give it a good look without the sketching, because you want to make sure it's all lining up how you like it to be. And I'm not liking that right there, so I'm gonna take off some of that and make her hair look a little more fluffy right there, come down a little bit. And then I remember that the nose was in the wrong spot from last time, so I just adjusted accordingly. And then she's got a really sassy full-lipped mouth, and you want to kind of go in and don't put too much detail, but allude to it. And I'm gonna put a little bit of like part in her lips that she's opening her mouth, and you can add a couple little details on the lips just to kind of make it look a little more realistic and full. And then her eyes are a little more pointed. She's got a lot of mascara on, she's got a lot of makeup on in general, so when putting on Her eyes, you have to think about how much mascara she has and how to pull that out. And I'm not the best at eyelashes, but it's a thing. And then you have to think about how open the eyes are, and that really depends on the crease, because you've got this little crease in your eyelid that opens and closes when your eyes open and close. So if your eye is higher to your brow, then you're going to have more of a crease. And I just went ahead and copied and pasted and flipped that, and gonna let those eyelashes go in front of the hair to show that they are longer right now. And then I'm just gonna go into her sassy tail. It's got a little flump, a little frill, a little curl to it, and I'm just putting down the general shape and then a few flyaways. And then we go through and add some more of those lines that show you how the hair is being pulled and moving, and it's very important. And then I've got a little thing, I'm gonna put a little pull back right on her scalp to show that her hair is being pulled into the ponytail, but her bangs are flopping over that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put in those lines. It's pretty easy. You just gotta think about the shape of the head and where the hair is going. And I always overdo it with these lines. You do not have to put this many down. I don't know why. That's just how I do it. And it's kind of ridiculous how many lines I put down, but you do not have to do that. I get a little over the top with them, and I know I do, and I still can't not do it. But if you like my style, then go ahead and put all the lines. It's fun, and it's one of my favorite parts. And to make little curls, you just kind of like put them in wiggly right next to each other to kind of show the hair is moving in and out, because it's not just one solid object. It's got texture, it's flowing, it's moving in, entangling in and of itself, like moving in and out of its own body of hair. And I realized I needed a little more of those little tiny hairs at the back. And now let's switch over to the boys inking. So you've got a few options with long hair. You can do like super straight chunky, you can do like flowy straight, you can do like it was straightened by, you know, a hair straightener. There's a lot of things to think about. And then you go in, and I'm having the hardest time with this jaw, but I have this thing where I have to have the perfect line, and my jaws on my guys have to look great or else I get sad. And he's a cutie, so I want to make sure his jaw looks good. And I always have these wild, crazy lines that come out, and I erase a lot, which is why I love digital art. And again, the little shadow right under the jaw, and look at that, it actually looks good. I don't have to change the jaw at all, which makes me happy. And then I'm just gonna add a little crooked smile to him and have him have some really cute little lips. Maybe he's puckering up or just like looking at someone he likes. Just a little bit of, I don't know, just a cutie. Gonna copy and paste that eye. You make it a little bigger depending on which way the head is tilted. And then with him starting his hair, I'm actually gonna do it at the top where where the hair starts going to the back of his head, because if you start with his bangs, they're a lot more wild and crazy and it won't quite work as well. So starting at the top of the head is a lot more effective when you're doing long flowing hair. So I'm just going to map out some of that and then find where his hair is going to be off his scalp. And now this is the hardest part of long flowing hair, because it's super fun to draw long flowy hair. I love doing it. I really like it on guys, like I've said before, but you have to get that top of the head right. And then after I map out the top of the head, I decide how I want his bangs, and I don't want his bangs to knock out his eyes or his cute smile, so you gotta kind of watch that, make sure it doesn't kill the stuff that you put down, but just knocks out a few things to show that it is in front of the face. And then I go ahead and show that it's coming from the part in his hair right there, and it's kind of brushed forward. And another hard part for long hair like this is this part right here. You have to really make this curve on the head look natural and flowy, and it can end up a little bumpy or a little blocky sometimes, so just keep that in mind when you're trying to make it a little more soft, a little more smooth. It's okay to go back and fix it. And then it kind of, with long hair, it kind of goes out a little bit farther next to the head, and then it comes back in toward the neck and then kind of flows back out again as a general shape for it. It typically doesn't just go straight down. And then if anything's in front of his chest, it'll be pulled down closer, like in front of his neck, and kind of like a small V, kind of curling in toward him. And then I'm just gonna add a few more flyaways and a little more bangs, and I have to get rid of his eyebrow there because I need to make this a little better. And there's a few things you can do when you have it here. You can kind of curve it in and have it come in and knock out more of his face if he's like, you know, one of those people that has hair in his face. Or you can kind of make it a smaller, leaner little strand, but I'm not really liking either of those, so I'm gonna switch it and go the other way, like it's pulling the hair from the scalp out, and then you've got freedom to do whatever you want right there. It doesn't have to match the other thing, and it's always good to flip around and make sure things are looking right, and they look good to me. So I'm just gonna throw some of that in there, figure out which way I want it to go, and I like that, how it's kind of coming in onto his face, but it's not getting in front of anything important. I'm gonna do another little strand right there. This one would be in front of his chest. It would be up on his shoulder and in front of his chest if I were to be drawing a chest, but I'm not because I'm drawing hair and makeup. But then you want to come down, and long hair typically falls in a V shape, but you can also do the an upside down V. I don't know if that's a thing, but I'm just gonna throw that on and then give him a few little flyaways, and it looks really cute, and I like his hair and he looks so pretty. And then once again, from the part in the hair you pull up and then down, so it's got this curvature to it because it's coming out and then over the head. And then you want to bring those and just pull it down and just show the movement of the hair. And I really am crazy on these, and you can be a lot more minimalistic with it. I've seen gorgeous drawings that have like barely any lines, just showing like the general shape of the hair. It's all up to you. It is your style. This is my style, and the most important thing is just to show the flow of the hair. Alright, and let's move on to the next guy. I'm just going to use that eye I already made and put it on him. It just makes that easy peasy. And then I'm going to start with his jaw and head because he has shaved areas. It's much more important to know the shape of his head. The shape of the head kind of has this bulbous, round, ovally shape on the top, and then it comes down to your eyebrows, and that bone kind of stops there and then goes in toward your eyes and then comes back out, and that's generally how you would shape a head. And then I want to throw on some little details on his face. I want him to look more like K-pop or whatever, and give him a softer nose and small lips, kind of put together, kind of pursed a little bit maybe. And then once again you can go in and do the neck, and after I get the face done, I'm just going to go in and start at the back of the hair, because this is the most important part. It's pulling from the back, it's like brushed up toward his face, and all the rest of it is buzzed. So he's got these fun little curly kind of bangs, and it just all kind of comes toward this one point in the front. And this is a very popular style right now, and I've never drawn this style before. All of my guys have had long hair, but I've noticed that it's kind of important to have these little strands that go out and over other ones that kind of knock out some of the others and like flop in front, because it's all kind of tumbling down on top of itself. And it's actually really fun. I'm enjoying this process, and I think he's gonna turn out really cute. And once that's done, you gotta go in and start sketching the little lines a little more, the shaped part of the head. So the head goes up into this, and he's gonna have a little bit of a angle and sideburns, and like I said, you want to kind of put it in and pull it out like that, like a little jagged and pull it out, but this isn't being pulled, it's shaved. So instead of doing that, we're gonna just put a regular line and go in and do like some stubbly stuff. I don't do this a whole lot, so it's kind of an experiment, but it's just gonna kind of go in and put some little hatching lines and then go back and do some stippling, and I think that's looking pretty good. And I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but I'm gonna have to experiment a little more and play around with it. And then after that, you go in and show the lines of movement. And these ones are going to be completely different than everybody else's because they're pulling toward you from the back. So it's all kind of flooding up, and it makes it even more important to show which way the hair is going, or else it's just going to look like he's got scruff on his head. But you want to show that it's brushed forward and it has some product in it, and it's all pulling toward the one spot, all up into the front. And that's pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with that. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial on sketching and inking hair. I know it doesn't come as easily to everybody as it might for me, and I really hope that this has given you an idea of how you can make it fun and what things to consider when you're putting together a character who has some fun hair. I would also like you to know that I'm going to be posting another video that continues this one, where I color the hair and finish up the characters and go through the whole shading and highlighting process, and it's super fun and super pretty, and it just turns out gorgeous. And I really hope you stay tuned for that one. So like, hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell. I don't upload very often, but when I do, I really hope you guys can see my videos and enjoy them. So without further ado, I will see you later, guys. Stay strange.